All right, welcome to the podcast, Sergio, JJ. It's a impromptu podcast, and JJ, we were on a car ride this morning on an appointment with one of your clients, and I thought it would be good before the end of the year to talk about what's been happening with you and Olivia in your real estate business, and then on a high level, what's been going on in Ronival in 2024, what we have going on in 2025. I know you got to get to an appointment in a little bit, so you might have to cut out. So we'll start with you, JJ. Tell everyone what we were talking about on that car ride.
Well, we were talking about difference between, I guess it's like our 2 years. We just passed our 2-year anniversary of Ronival, and you were asking like, what was the biggest difference between the first year and the second year? And the biggest year was when we first got here because of like our previous real estate experience. We were lucky enough to get a project. So when we had that project, leads were coming in, clients were coming in, so deals were coming to us. So we really neglected like the CRM and like using Boomtown to do any kind of prospecting. And once we left that project and there was no more business, we were like, oh my gosh, we really made a huge mistake by not taking advantage of prospecting using the CRM. So the second year, that's really where our business changed a lot. Once that happened, we started, getting in Boomtown, really getting engaged, learning the system, reaching out to clients. And like the biggest thing that I learned was not to get discouraged because you're not getting like responses back. There was the majority of our clients that we've gotten this year were folks that had been in the system and they never responded back to us, and I mean, we just never gave up. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, they call and say, hey, I'm ready.
And what you were mentioning to me this morning was that in your prior life as a mortgage professional, you're in a small town, you and Olivia, so you know the people. So you just have to meet people or they already know you. So the business is coming to you in a different way.
Absolutely.
But you guys moved to a new area, so you don't have a sphere of influence. You don't know people. People don't know who you are. So you have to rely on leads coming from the company, people being introduced to you from the company or coworkers, or you're meeting people out on the street.
Absolutely.
And those tend to be a longer life cycle, right? So can you tell everyone an example of a client that maybe recently you've worked with where it wasn't that quick sale, but it required more time?
Absolutely. Actually, it's our very first client. The very first client that we ever toured was in January of 2020. Was that 2023?
Okay.
And they had already been in Boomtown for 4 years. And in the notes it said, not ready to buy, we'll buy in 4 years. And like, what a blessing. It's 4 years later. And sure enough, we started talking to them. And the wife was a Keller Williams real estate agent. And she said, hey, I see your wife. I see everything that's online. I think we would be a great fit to work together.
Right.
And that kind of started the dialogue. Toured them. We got them into contract on a home in Diamante, but life happens and the economy, and that deal was put on hold. And literally, I was just telling Sergio, literally right now, today, Diamante is writing up the offer 2 years after the first tour, 6 years after they registered with Ronival. So this deal literally is 2 years of Olivia and I nurturing them and working with them, and 4 years being in the Ronival series system.
Wow.
So that's a classic example of a 6-year deal.
But it pays off because it's a multimillion-dollar sale.
Sure.
And that equates as a real estate agent, tens of thousands of dollars of income.
Absolutely.
And if you would have applied what you know now in your first year, how different would that first year have been?
The first year compared to now, dollar-wise, we've tripled our income. And like I said, that's not even working it as hard as we could because, we're parents. We got 2 kids. Kids are in sports. We do social media. We have a YouTube channel. So there's a lot of things that we're constantly busy doing. Plus, we are showing clients and touring. Like, actually, that's why I have to leave in a little bit, is because we're touring clients. And so I think it's like Aaron Chua, one of our coaches with Sun Ferry, says, nobody in Ronival would be able to beat me if I was an agent because I'd be grinding. I'd be like so relentless on making the calls and working the CRM. And I'm like, man, I'm not even close to being that committed to it. And then I thought, just with the success that we've had this year compared to last year, if I even was half as dedicated as like what Aaron's saying, I was like, holy smokes, And that's why I'm like super excited about 2025 and getting more focused on it.
Tell everyone also what we talked about the past deals, so clients you've actually closed in the last couple of years, he said there were about 20, maybe the buyers that you serviced, you and Olivia go, and that next year you're going to do better than this year.
Absolutely.
And it's not just company leads and resources, but your past clients and being able to nurture them because eventually they sell.
Absolutely.
They refer their friends and family, and they might want to buy something else also.
Right.
And JJ and I were going through an exercise of, let's say 10% of your past clients did another transaction with you each year. So for him and Olivia, that would be 2 extra deals on top of the 10 deals that he would get next year if he did no extra work than he put in this year. So that's 20% more. But then the next year, you are going to transact another 2 on the original 20, but then you have 10 more deals that the next year, one of those deals, you're going to do a second piece of business or get referral business from. So in 2 years, you're going to have 40% more deals just from referrals and repeat business. And what's the rule of 72?
Rule of 72 is if you divide it by 9.
No. You take the fast.
I know there's an out there somewhere.
So if you take the percentage of the repeat business or your return on investment in any investment, and you divide it into 72. So let's say, for example, and 9 was the number I use. If you have an investment that gives you 9% a year, it would take 8 years to double that investment, the initial investment. So if you have clients that you have 10% of them doing repeat business with you each year, right? You would double your business after 7 years if you got no new business. Right? But of course, you're getting new business. So that's why in real estate, it's a compounding effect. You have the existing business you've already sold. And if you do a good job nurturing it and all the new business, then it starts stacking on top of each other. And that's how you become a top seller. And this year, you already, what in the team?
Yeah, there's almost 100 agents, and we're number 8.
Number 8.
Yep.
So top 10.
I think I was just talking to Sergio saying I think there's a good potential that we're actually going to move up another slot maybe.
Oh, with this recent sale.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. What do you see for not just 2025 for you and Olivia, but for the next 3 years?
Honestly, just, it's like you're saying, like, with networking here in Los Cabos. And I mean, we're getting a lot more deals like from friends, neighbors, folks we go to church with, and also going out, meeting contractors, meeting developers, meeting landowners. I see a lot more getting involved with like putting more complex like transactions together and like development deals and things like that. And just growing on social media and working the boomtown. So
I have
exciting.
a question for you that this morning, Patty, our directors, gave a presentation to the team, our hour of power. And there were several slides, the year in review. And one of the things, you and I weren't in that meeting because we were on that appointment, but one of the stats was 39 new agents joined Ronival, right? I'd like to know your perspective. A lot of agents that are in Ronival or used to work in Ronival have said Ronival's getting too big. And when you bring in 39 new agents, now we're close to 120 or somewhere around that, that the pie gets chopped up and there's less business for me, JJ, and Olivia to have. What's your opinion on that?
I don't believe that at all. And I think that's a total scarcity mindset. The reason is because like when you look at how many billions of dollars are spent here in Los Cabos, this pie is big enough for like, I think there's 80 brokerages or something.
160.
160. I mean, and and the only reason you're starving is because you're not working. So I don't agree with that at all. The other thing is like, the company getting too big. I don't believe that either, just because like, the way that Ronival is there's teams, there's team leads and there's teams. So there's individual teams inside of the Ronival team of itself.
Right.
And, we all support each other in those individual teams. And then we work across the teams constantly. So I just feel like the more people that join Ronival, more spheres of influence, more opportunity for deals, more opportunity for networking internally, more opportunity to make more deals internally to happen, because we do have a lot of deals together. And it's way easier to negotiate with a friend and say, hey, look, where can we meet in the middle on this? Where can we make a win-win-win-win? And so I don't agree with that at all. I've not experienced that. I don't see that. I'm not a believer in that. I think that the grass is always greener where you're going to water it. So,
Very good. Very good. Who's your team leader?
Rob Cromar and James Laker. I got the dynamic duo, Cabo closers.
Yeah. Shout out to Rob and James. They do a great job.
Excellent job. Yeah, excellent job. I mean, Rob is great with all the documentation, the back office, just the expertise. And then James is like a total expert on like marketing, Facebook, social media, all kinds of other, creative ways to get attention and get properties out there and help. And both of them are always available, very humble and just great. I mean, and even like the folks on our team, I mean, we're super tight. We go to Costa Palmas together. We do events together. We eat together. And I think that's indicative of Ronival culture. 100%.
Cool. I know you need to bow out, so whenever you need to bow out, you can just leave. Well, Sergio and I can talk.
Well, you just fade me out.
Yeah. No, you could join. I mean, you're just going next door to pick up your client. So I'll just Sergio. We didn't make the hour of power, and you, Patty, and I think Eric, our marketing and media director, presented in front of 50 plus people inside the company. What were some of the highlights that you recall on that meeting?
Well, something that I talked about, and I always tell the agents, is about what JJ is talking, the prospecting, doing the work, doing the legwork. And I mean, I always say it's not rocket science that we do, but it's about discipline. So if you work your Boomtown, your CRM, if you do the calls, if you are prospecting every day, you create content, it'll go a long way.
Yeah.
And if you find like what JJ is talking about, him and Olivia, or Rob and James, you find a partner that you can combine your weaknesses with what you do best. Like Rob is good with back office, James is great with sourcing leads. It's a killer combination, and your production will only double, triple, maybe 4 times. So it's doing the work. One thing that surprised me, now that you mentioned that agents, yes, they're saying I'm getting a slimmer piece of the pie. This year so far, in 300 and plus days, we've assigned 3 leads per day to our agents.
3
on
leads.
average.
So we over 1,000.
Over 1,000. That is correct. We are imagine that 50 people on average register on our website every day.
Yeah.
So we have the ISA department, and they're doing the calls every day. We're sending more than 1 million emails so far. I think it's 1.5 million emails so far this year. The calls, the ISA does the dirty work. So we're handing off the leads that we are qualify them as hot to the agents.
Right.
So the agents are the final piece of the puzzle. They're a very important piece of the puzzle, but all the work that goes behind with marketing, with the ISA, into assigning, qualifying the leads and assigning the leads to the agents, it's a big task that we do.
Yeah, the ISA, or inside sales department, is what you're talking about. And that's something that we started with just one person years ago. That one person was me. And I had to make all the phone calls and prospect hours. I literally would prospect 4 hours a day, and then 4 hours a day I would tour. And that's what I did. That was my job as a real estate agent. And I didn't look up. I just kept my head down and I got busy and I did the work. And I'm so thankful for each and every one of our departments, and for you to head that department, because I no longer have to be in the day-to-day. And then also the development sales. But there's a part of the company that is relatively new, which is Ronival University, our learning system. And that's something that 2-3 years ago was a big time and money investment for us. But can you give everyone an appreciation of like what happens there, what kind of success we've had this year?
Let me tell you my side of the story. I had the privilege of being an agent for the first 9 months, and my onboarding in the company, it was kind of rocky and we were hiring, after I started as an operations manager, we were hiring agents and sending them out on the wild. Like, okay, you're hired, here are your papers, go and sell. And my personal experience was, what can I sell? Because I had zero previous experience in real estate. I didn't know what to sell, what could I publish. I was told do videos, sell, but I had no idea. So after I got back into the admin, we started creating this program. Up to today, it's been 2-3 years working the training program. We're recruiting the agents, and we created. It's like going to college, I call it, because we have an admissions part where the agents give us their documents because they need to be fully onboarded. They need to be legally for the expat to be able to work here in Mexico with us.
Work visa,
Work visa,
real estate license.
real estate license, their RFC, which is the tax ID from the Mexican government. So those are 3 key documents that we need so we can get the agents on board. Then it's the MLS, it's taking them the pictures, everything, and they start the orientation process. So orientation, the key part is managing Boomtown, our CRM. So they go through a series of trainings through Boomtown, and we created now the Ronival University to be 98% virtual, meaning that we've recorded a lot of videos. We have a platform, an online platform inside Ronival. So it's amazing. They go through a bachelor's program, master's, and PhD. What they'll find there, it's we help them be successful. And there's a lot of knowledge outside where if you go to YouTube or inside a lot of websites, you'll find knowledge. But here we've compiled everything so the agents can go through these modules and get all the knowledge they can so they can be successful. Boomtown, the MLS, marketing, how do I manage my social media? Then it's about the legalities of the business, the documents for offers to purchase, taxes, financing. So it's full of information that if you go through it in no less than 3 months, we have a new agent that we just onboarded maybe 2 months ago. Yesterday, she finished her PhD.
Which agent was that?
Erica Amador.
Oh, Erica. Yeah.
So she's been with us for 2 months.
Yep.
And she just finished the PhD.
And she's an experienced agent coming from another brokerage, selling a lot of real estate. And any comments from her in regards to the onboarding process and the Ronival University?
Well, not only from her, but from agents that we've onboarded from other companies, other brokerages, both in the US and here in Cabo. What they like from us is the structure. You were talking about that the agents say we're growing a lot and growth needs structure.
Right.
Growth needs to have a plan. So with this structure, I haven't heard anything but good things and praises for it. So we have a person dedicated, dedicated to the Ronival University. And what she does is guide the agents to the university. She's doing one-on-one sessions with them.
Yep.
Yes, the experienced agents, they have this experience, but there are many things that when they come with us, they're like, I don't know how to do that. Even managing the MLS for 2-3 years, like
Bye, AJs. Bye.
So it's a big work that we do with Ronival University, but we can see the payoffs with the agents, the knowledge that they're getting, and all these new agents. He was talking about James Laker. James didn't have any experience in real estate before, and he's now in the top 10 also of our real estate agents. So it goes a long way, this training.
So you don't need to have real estate experience. You don't need to be in real estate for a long time to be successful.
Not at all. You just need to do the work. I think it's managing your CRM, knowing the inventory, and of course, it's the rapport with the clients.
Yep.
But if you don't have the information that the clients are asking, if you do the follow-up, then it's a done deal. You're going to be successful. The recipe is there. You just need discipline.
You know, I've given a couple presentations, one just last week in Todos Santos and one in La Paz, and I call it the 4 C's.
Yeah, and
It's the CRM, it is content, it's collaboration, and characterization, which is role playing. And that's a big thing that we do inside of Ronival, which is role playing. Can you explain to everyone what role playing is?
Yeah, I remember when I started as an agent, Brett, your brother, he would call me out of the blue and he would start to do role play. Really, when I started, I was like, what are we doing? But as time goes by and now with the experience, role play is key. You can do it in front of a mirror. You can do it calling another fellow agent, but it's just practice makes perfect. And now we have a platform called Tom AI that you can actually role play because somebody may feel dumb doing it in front of a mirror, calling somebody to do a role play. But now you have the capability to use AI and use your computer to do a role play. And you can characterize the person on the computer if it's a seller that doesn't want to sell, he's rude, he's tough. So you can put a character to this AI,
Yeah.
and you can role play and you can practice, because when you are out there on doing tours or on a showing or on a listing appointment, you can be sure that the clients, the sellers or the buyers are going to be like that. So if they caught you off guard, if you practice it, you're going to come up with the answers immediately.
So we've been using this AI tool. Thanks, Tom, for the AI tool. I've been doing it as the agent, so the listing agent or the buyer agent. But have you thought about reversing the role? So I'm not as experienced as an agent, but I have this objection from a seller. So I'm going to be the seller, and the AI is going to be the agent. Think about that, and then you have
Like reverse perspective,
right.
reverse
So then the AI, which many times, especially if you're an inexperienced agent, it's giving you the roadmap by which how to handle the objection. So if I went on a listing appointment and the seller is, what do you mean you're charging me 8% commission? My agent that I met last week is going to charge me 6%. Tell me why I should pay 8%. So you take that role and then let the AI be the agent. And then you learn from the AI in that way. So think about that for our agents. But that's something last week I thought of, and I've yet to practice that myself. And what amazes me is I go on appointments and agents or you or even Patty say, Nick, it's like you're a natural. I said, no, I just practice.
practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about this tool is that it grades you and gives you pointers in what you need to work on. So it's not only practicing or recording, because you could record it like with a tape recorder, but it gives you the pointers. It passes it up through AI and tells you, hey, you need to work on this or that.
Okay. And how do you see the real estate market next year? We're in December, so we're finishing the last few weeks of 2024. The market, for everyone that doesn't know, has been a down year. We're about 30% off from last year. And 21 and 22 were the height of our real estate market for the last decade here. And really, since ever, I've been here for 20 years. And so 23 was a lower than 22, 24 lower than 23. Now we're going into 25 after a Mexican and U.S. election. The U.S. dollar has gotten stronger against the Mexican peso. Early indications show buyers are more eager to buy now, and they're not waiting for that U.S. election.
No, we can see the traffic on our channels. After the U.S. election, we had a spike of triple the people that were browsing, looking at properties. Again, we're very data driven. We can see the number of tours, the number of showings. They have some have tripled, some have doubled, but people have again interest in looking for real estate. Now it takes a little time. Still, we're at the end of the year. The holidays are coming up, but I have a good faith that 2025 is going to be a good year for us for real estate.
Now, when you say good, what does that mean?
Well, it means that's a good question.
Better than 24?
I think it's going to be definitely better than 24. I don't think we're going to see the same numbers that we did in the pandemic numbers, that it spiked. It was a booming market, but we're going to be better than 24, definitely.
Yeah, I think those are what I call the unicorn years, and they were great while they lasted, and we're in more of a normal real estate market. I think that what I saw this year is what I predicted at the end of 23, which is a lot of real estate agents were going to bitch and moan and complain and say, where's the business? And real estate is too hard, and buyers aren't making the decision to buy, or they're giving me excuses of why they're not buying, and that the agents just stop working. They stop working.
And that is because they want immediate results. And we've seen it and we've talked about it. The numbers show it's 2 years approximately average between registration of a client getting a lead to putting an offer. So it's 2 years. So if you want, I also hear agents tell me, like, I called 5 times, I sent 5 emails or 5 text messages. Again, the ISA sends 1 million plus emails. We send about 600 text messages a day. We make about 5,000 calls. So if you're expecting after 5 text messages, 5 calls to get a response in this market with these buyers, it's not going to happen. It's just persistence.
This week I was watching an old podcast of ours, and you and Greg were in my office, and we recorded a podcast maybe 2 years ago. And the statement came up where it was recruiting, bringing on new agents. And we had heard back then that Ronival wasn't hiring. And we addressed that point. Obviously, we are hiring. We added 39 new agents. What is it that Ronival's looking for in an agent to join?
We look for drivers, people that want to be successful, because we hire inexperienced people, no previous experience in real estate, and both like Erika, people that have experience in the US and come to Mexico. They don't know how to transact in Mexico, but we hire drivers. It doesn't matter if you've sold billions of dollars or you haven't. So we have a process structure. It's an interview, it's a virtual interview, then you come to an in-person interview. We see your numbers, we look at your social media, what you're doing, and that gives us a big sense before we sit down one-on-one. The way we sit down one-on-one is really getting to know the people, seeing their numbers on the MLS if they are agents here. So we're looking for people that want to be successful as us.
Sergio, thank you.
Thank you.
And everyone, I just want to close out and let you know that at Ronival Real Estate, the sales side, which I lead, and Rocio, my wife, leads the property management side of the business. This is my passion. And I can't tell you, in the 20 years, the excitement that I have for the real estate industry here in Baja California Sur hasn't been higher than it is now. And with Ronival Real Estate, in just the last 4 years, we've sold over $1 billion of real estate and closed over 2,000 properties. We know real estate. And if you're a real estate agent out there looking to get into a new career, or you're at a brokerage and not getting the support that we offer, which is a full staff media team, a marketing team, a call center, leads, staff that is going to help you put deals together, coaching, mentorship, a Ronival University learning platform. If you're not getting that support with your existing brokerage, look me up, DM me. I'm interested to have a conversation with you. At Ronival Real Estate, we're here to stay, and love to have drivers and high performers join our team. And until the next one, bye for now.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Nick Fong Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast and the YouTube channel at youtube.com/Ronival Real Estate, and follow Nick on Instagram at NickFong_Ronival. Ready to find your Baja dream home? Check out the latest property listings at Ronival.com or findmexicohouses.com. Hasta luego.